Good morning to all. One of the little things that I'm going to be doing, which I think's a brilliant idea, is fitting a USB port onto the Royal Enfield. This has come from, obviously, my friendly neighbour Hitchcock's. And what you get here in the package, you've got two sections. You've got one that's the actual USB port, and you get two USB charging ports. You've got one at 5 volt, sorry, they're both 5 volt 2.1 amp ports with a waterproof cover for when you're not actually using it. Now this is ideal for charging, if you want to charge your phone up, anything like that, or any other auxiliary equipment you've got plastered on your bike. Now what I'm actually planning to do with this is I've got a Garmin sat-nav which I've mounted to the bike. Now originally on all my other bikes where I've had this sat-nav on, I've actually had it just directly wired straight to the battery. Now the thing with that is, obviously there's power going to this port constantly. Now I've not had a problem with draining batteries or anything like that, but I've always fitted Motorbat really good quality batteries onto all my motorcycles and never had a problem with them. They're a gel battery and strong as an ox. Now with the Enfield I'm not planning on changing the battery. I'm hoping it's going to get me through winter just with trickle charging it every now and then and firing the bike up and just generally looking after it. Now with this actual harness adapter, inside your headlight you've got one, well obviously the opposite end to this connector, which is classed as an auxiliary port built into the headlight, and this connector connects directly onto that. Now advantage what you've got there is, when you're not using the bike, when the ignition's off, there's no power at all going to this. As soon as you turn the ignition on, and obviously the lights come on, power then goes to this charger. But obviously then you're riding bike, so it's charging battery and everything, so there's no drain at all using this product. I think it's a brilliant idea, and it's well made, very nice, very nice. Now what you've got to be able to fit that, and what you've got to mount it on, is these mounting rings. Well, mounting clamp, should I say. And what you've got there is billet aluminium. Lovely, lovely that. Now what this actually does is clamps round top of your fork leg, so you can have it mounted onto your forks with this area. And then obviously this little ring is where your USB connector actually goes in, and you've got a little nut there which, if you take it off, I'll show you, take it off all the way, and that just threads nicely into there. And then you just use your plastic locking ring once you've got it mounted how you actually want it onto the fork leg, and that, once we get threads going, there we go. So that's going nowhere, that's secure. And like I said, that actually mounts onto the actual fork stem at the top, and this wire connects straight into your headlight port, so you've got access, easy access to this. Fantastic. And like I said, I'll get it banged up bike, and then I'll give it a test run, make sure it all works of course, before doing a little video and just showing you. Okay then guys, thanks a lot, I'll see you later. See you there. Right, this is my USB port which I have just fitted only loosely, just while I get it organised and see exactly where I want everything. Like I say, it fits lovely. It just fits in nice into the dashboard. And fully waterproof cap, which is a tight fit, so there should be no water getting in there. You've just got two little Allen keys just to tighten it up, make sure it's right. What I advise you to do in the first place, wherever you decide to mount it, is just when you've mounted it, just get a trial run, full lock to full lock, and just make sure none of these cables are actually binding on it, or it's getting way at any cables or anything like that. Don't worry, that's not my headstock bearings, that's just centre stand. As you can see, that's the job done. Well, once I tighten it all up and get it all sorted, and then it's just a case of feeding this cable down into the back of the headlight, where you can see all the rest of the harness actually going in. But first, of course, I've got to take this headlight guard off, which I've loosened these off anyway in the first place, pre-loosened. 1, 2, exactly the same. Watch that the tax disc holder don't go for a tumble, because I'm trying to do everything with one hand. Now these guys just slot on, pull off, easy. And while it's off, I'll give my headlight a clean as well. Because the one problem with it is, when you've got that on, as you can see the actual deepness of the dish, you can't clean your headlight. So I'm going to give that a good buff up and a clean, looking nice and shiny. And then we'll get on with it. To take the actual headlight out, just the front section, you've got these two little screws, one at either side, which you just undo, and then the headlight just pops off, which I'll do, and I'll show you once I've struggled to get it off. Like I say, you've just got these two little screws. I've taken the one out of the other side just to make this a little bit quicker. Always make sure you put your screws somewhere safe, which I've found that I tend not to. So I've bought myself a little magnetic dish. All mechanics have got these. I'm not a mechanic, but it looks good. By Sealy. Right, everything's nice and safe then. Now this should just, with a little bit of persuasion, pop off. Phone on. Now you'll have to excuse road noise and everything, guys, but there's nothing I can do about school run. Now when you look at here, you've got all your harnesses and everything like that, and then you should have, which I presume that is going to be the one, an auxiliary port, and then your harness, which you've got here, and you tuck it through, which I'm not going to be able to do one-handed, obviously. Tuck it through all at the back of your headlight and just connect it up. So I'll show you once I get it ragged through. Right, I was correct. These are this yellow port, as usual. Everything's plastered with white grease, which I'll need to clean off before I fit it actually properly, but that's the idea. This is the actual cable from your USB ports, which I've just fed through. Try and get it through this side here, but it's too tight, so it don't matter which one you thread it through really. And there you go. And then it's just a case of, like hotels, one-handed, pushing it through and connecting it. And it's as simple as that then, lads and lasses. Now what you'll find now is when you turn ignition on, as you can see, the USB is dead at the moment. Now you turn your ignition on, and she lights up, and that means she's got power. So you can just plug whatever accessories you want into that. Like I say, I've got a Garmin Zumo sat nav, which I'm just going to run I'm just going to have a USB cable in my little side bag, and whenever I want to charge it up I can just plug it straight into there. I've had to modify it a little bit because the original cable's supposed to come straight through here, but the USB port on the side of the Garmin, so I've just had to grind this little bit off here. Well, not grind it, file it off, and then the USB cable can just be fed straight from there. I'm just going to buy a little short one that plugs straight into there so I can be charging as I'm riding, and once it's charged I can just unplug it or leave it charged in. It's the sat nav's good to be plugged in all the time. Right, so it's just a case of retrofitting it and putting it all back together then, guys. But like I said, I'm going to clean all the connections in there now, take all that white grease off while I'm at it. So there you go then, boys and girls. See you later. Sit there.